Everyone thinks they know how to survive a nuclear disaster. You've seen the movies. You've read the prepper forums. You've memorized the tips from that one guy on the internet who sells tactical backpacks and sells fear at the same markup. But here is a truth nobody wants to admit. Most of what you believe about surviving nuclear fallout is not just wrong. It is the exact thing that will get you killed. We are not talking about small mistakes. We are talking about instincts so deeply rooted in survival culture, so confidently repeated by self-proclaimed experts, that entire generations of people would follow them straight into a radiation grave. These are the rules that sound smart. These are the rules that feel right. These are the rules that every survival channel has echoed until they feel like scripture. And every single one of them breaks down the moment real fallout hits the atmosphere. Today we are dismantling 5 of the most dangerous pieces of survival advice ever repeated, and we are replacing them with the physics, the history, and the facts that actually keep human beings alive when the sky turns gray. One of these rules has been taught to children in classrooms. Another has been drilled into soldiers. And one of them is so backwards that following it could cost you your life in under 24 hours. If you enjoy the kind of stories that flip everything you thought you knew on its head, consider subscribing, because what is coming later on this channel is going to challenge far more than just survival myths. Let's get into it. Rule number 1, get to high ground. This is the advice your grandfather swore by. It is the first thing you learn during any flood, any hurricane, any natural disaster. Climb higher, escape the danger below. And in almost every emergency scenario humans have faced throughout history, it has been the correct call. But fallout is not a flood. Fallout is not water. Fallout is gravity in reverse. Radioactive particles are carried upward by the heat of a nuclear detonation, drift across the atmosphere on the wind, and then settle back down to Earth as invisible dust. The higher you are, the closer you are to the open sky, and the sky is exactly where the radiation is coming from. A mountaintop cabin offers no shielding from above. A rooftop apartment puts you closer to the source, not farther from it. During the Chernobyl disaster in 1986, Soviet scientists recorded dramatically higher radiation readings on elevated terrain and upper floors of buildings compared to basements in the exact same geographic zone. The Earth itself was the shield, not altitude, not distance, density. The correct response is to get low, get underground, and put as much mass between yourself and the sky as physically possible. A basement with 12 inches of concrete above your head is worth more than 1,000 feet of elevation. High ground saves you from rising water. It will not save you from descending death. Rule number 2, boil your water to make it safe. This one is so deeply embedded in survival culture that it almost feels insulting to question. Boiling water has saved more human lives than almost any other single technique in history. It kills bacteria, destroys parasites, and it neutralizes viruses. In any other emergency, boiling is the answer. But in a fallout scenario, boiling becomes a loaded gun pointed at your own mouth. Radiation does not die. Radiation does not burn off. Radioactive particles are not microorganisms. They are heavy metals, cesium, strontium, and iodine isotopes bonded to dust and sediment. When you boil contaminated water, the water itself evaporates into steam. The radioactive particles do not. They stay behind, concentrated in whatever water remains in the pot. That means every minute you boil, you are making the water more radioactive, not less. You are literally distilling poison. The correct method is filtration through dense material. Soil layers, activated charcoal, and fine clay can physically trap particles before they ever reach your cup. Ancient survival manuals from the Cold War era actually taught this. Dig a hole, layer earth, sand, and cloth, and let gravity do the work. Fire is the enemy here. Dirt is the hero. Rule number 3, bug out immediately. The survival world worships the bug out bag. The idea is simple. Something goes wrong, you grab your pre-packed bag, you run for the hills, you disappear before the chaos catches up. For civil unrest, for wildfires, for hurricanes, it is often the right move. For fallout, it is a death sentence. The most dangerous moment in any nuclear event is not the blast itself. It is the first 48 hours afterward, when radioactive particles are at their highest concentration and settling everywhere downwind. Running during that window means breathing those particles directly into your lungs, coating your skin with them and tracking them into every vehicle and shelter you touch. Studies conducted after atmospheric nuclear tests in the 1950s showed that radiation levels dropped by roughly 90% within the first 7 hours and by 99% within 48 hours. The math is brutal but clear. A person sheltering in a basement for 2 days will absorb dramatically less radiation than a person who flees the same area in the first 2 hours. Movement is exposure. Stillness is survival. The old Cold War slogan, "Duck and cover," was widely mocked for decades. But hidden inside that phrase was a truth the mockers never understood. The first move in a fallout scenario is no movement at all. Rule number 4, seal everything airtight. This one feels like pure logic. Fallout is airborne, so block the air. Tape the windows, plug the vents, seal the doors, trap yourself inside a perfect bubble of safety. And for a few hours it works. But human lungs are not machines. Every breath you exhale releases carbon dioxide. In a perfectly sealed room, that carbon dioxide has nowhere to go. It builds up. It accumulates. It replaces the oxygen you need to stay conscious. Within 12 to 24 hours in a tightly sealed space, carbon dioxide poisoning becomes lethal. You do not suffocate dramatically. You grow tired, you get a headache, you fall asleep, and you never wake up. Soviet and American civil defense engineers figured this out in the 1960s. Every real fallout shelter, the ones built into government bunkers and missile silos, includes controlled ventilation through high-efficiency filters. The goal is not to seal out the air completely. The goal is to clean the air on its way in. For a civilian, the correct technique is a filtered intake, a simple setup using multiple layers of wet cloth, activated carbon, and a small opening that allows filtered air to circulate. Airtight kills. Filtered air lives. Rule number 5, wear a gas mask. This is the image burned into every post-apocalyptic movie ever made. The lone survivor walks through the ruins, a gas mask strapped to their face, striding confidently through the poisoned world. It looks powerful, it looks prepared, but it is mostly a lie. Most commercial gas masks, the ones sold in Army surplus stores and tactical websites, are designed to filter particulates, dust, smoke, and biological agents. They do an excellent job against most airborne threats. But radioactive iodine, one of the most dangerous isotopes released during any nuclear event, is not a particle. It is a gas. It passes through standard filters as easily as oxygen does. This is why potassium iodide tablets exist. They saturate your thyroid with safe iodine so that radioactive iodine has nowhere to bond. A gas mask cannot do that. Only specialized military-grade masks equipped with impregnated carbon filters and iodine-specific cartridges offer real protection, and those are almost never the ones in a prepper's bag. The correct approach is layered: a proper mask for particles, potassium iodide for the gas, and shielding from the environment itself. Equipment alone is not a plan. Equipment without understanding is just theater. 5 rules, 5 myths, 5 ways to die while believing you are doing everything right. Survival is not about looking prepared. It is about understanding the physics of the threat you face. High ground is for floods. Boiling is for bacteria. Running is for fires. Sealing is for smoke. Masks are for dust. None of them are for fallout. The tragedy is that most of this information was public at one time. Cold War manuals taught it. Government pamphlets printed it. But as the nuclear fear of the 20th century faded, the knowledge faded with it, replaced by instincts that belong to other disasters entirely. Please leave a comment and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, consider subscribing so you do not miss future videos.